Hey Switch fans, welcome back to Switch Top. Today we're diving into something special, the top 30 new Nintendo Switch games you absolutely need to play right now. The Switch library keeps growing with amazing titles, and these recent releases deserve your attention. From adorable adventures to intense action games, this list has something for everyone. Let's jump right in. Hello Kitty Island Adventure might look like it's just for kids, but don't be fooled. This charming life sim delivers a surprisingly deep and genuinely relaxing experience that players of all ages can enjoy. You'll explore a vibrant open island alongside Hello Kitty and her Sanrio friends, helping them build and customize their dream vacation resort through crafting, decorating, and completing quests. What makes this game special is its wholesome, no-pressure approach to gameplay. There are no timers, no energy systems, and no fail states. Instead, you're free to fish, cook, garden, mine for gems, and build relationships with the adorable cast at your own pace. The game's gentle progression system constantly rewards exploration with new items and areas to discover, while the seasonal events keep things fresh with limited time activities and collectibles. Big Helmet Heroes combines roguelite action with tower defense elements in a whimsical medieval setting that's impossible not to love. You control a squad of adorably oversized helmet-wearing knights defending their kingdom from waves of quirky enemies. What makes this game stand out is its brilliant dual-phase gameplay. During planning phases, you'll strategically place traps, barricades, and support structures around the battlefield. Then during combat phases, you directly control your hero in fast-paced action sequences, dodging attacks and unleashing special abilities. After each run, you'll unlock permanent upgrades and new knight classes with unique playstyles. From the tanky paladin who excels at holding the line to the alchemist who can create explosive chain reactions across the battlefield. The Legend of Heroes, Trails Through Daybreak 2 continues the exceptional storytelling and world building that Falcom's long-running series is known for, following protagonist Van Arkride and his allies as they uncover deeper conspiracies across the Republic of Calvard. This entry perfects the turn-based combat system with the addition of Resonance Arts, powerful combination attacks that can turn the tide of battle when used strategically with proper positioning and timing. The game's bustling cities feel alive with dozens of NPCs who have their own evolving stories that progress alongside the main narrative, rewarding players who take time to talk to everyone between major story beats. What truly elevates Trails Through Daybreak 2 is how it builds on relationships and plot threads from previous games while remaining accessible to newcomers through clever exposition and a detailed encyclopedia.
My stall has the best dishes around.
It's
really nice.
Nowhere better in Riverside than here. Who wants some roasted chestnuts?
Neva is a hauntingly beautiful puzzle platformer from the creators of Grizz that tells its emotional story almost entirely through visuals and music. You play as Alba, a guardian who protects a small wolf cub while navigating a world being consumed by a mysterious red corruption. The core gameplay revolves around the bond between Alba and the wolf. You'll need to coordinate their movements to solve environmental puzzles, with Alba using her magical abilities to clear paths, while the wolf can squeeze through small spaces and activate distant switches. What begins as simple puzzles evolves into complex sequences requiring perfect timing and coordination. The game's stunning hand-drawn art style uses color with incredible intention, starting in cold blues and whites before the encroaching red threat creates striking visual contrast. The minimalist soundtrack perfectly complements each scene, building emotional resonance without a single word of dialogue. Tales of Graces F Remastered brings one of the most beloved entries in the long-running Tales series to the Switch with enhanced visuals, smoother performance, and all DLC included. The story follows Asbel Lant and his childhood friends who encounter an amnesiac girl named Sophie, setting off a chain of events that spans years and forces them to confront both personal demons and world-threatening dangers. What makes Graces stand out is its revolutionary CC chain capacity battle system that replaces traditional MP with a regenerating action gauge, encouraging aggressive playstyles and dynamic switching between A Artes for physical attacks and B Artes for magical abilities. This creates one of the most fluid and satisfying combat systems in JRPG history, now running at a consistent 60 frames per second on Switch. The remaster also includes the F content, a substantial epilogue that adds roughly 15 hours of additional story taking place 6 months after the main game. Blade Chimera reinvents the Metroidvania formula with its unique time manipulation mechanics and stunning pixel art visual style inspired by late 90s arcade games. Set in a cyberpunk meets demonic apocalypse world, you play as a member of the Blade Chimera task force, wielding the living devil sword that can both slice enemies and temporarily restore sections of the crumbling world. What makes this game truly special is how it uses time manipulation as both a combat and exploration mechanic. You'll reverse deteriorated platforms to create new paths, temporarily revive defeated enemies to use as stepping stones, and even rewind fatal blows during challenging boss encounters. The combat system rewards aggression with a risk-reward meter that builds through successful attacks and dodges, unlocking devastating special moves when maxed out. Fantasian Neo Dimension brings legendary Final Fantasy creator Hironobu Sakaguchi's mobile masterpiece to Switch with expanded content, rebalanced gameplay, and visual enhancements that make its unique diorama worlds even more breathtaking. The game follows Leo, an amnesiac hero in a world where technology and magic coexist as he battles against a mechanical infection threatening to consume reality itself. What sets Fantasian apart is its handcrafted visual style. Over 150 physical dioramas were built and photographed to create the game's environments, giving each location a tactile, lived-in quality unlike anything else in gaming. The battle system brilliantly evolves traditional turn-based combat with the Dimension system that lets you defer random encounters to tackle multiple enemies and satisfying multi-battle sequences, and the curving mechanic that allows spells to bend around obstacles or hit multiple targets in creative ways. Europa transforms the survival genre with its emotionally resonant underwater exploration set on Jupiter's ice-covered moon. You play as a lone scientist navigating the depths of an alien ocean after your research station is damaged, balancing oxygen management with the need to uncover what happened to your missing crew. What makes Europa special is how it uses survival mechanics to enhance narrative tension rather than just create busy work. Each expedition from your slowly failing base requires careful planning as you push deeper into the abyss, discovering both natural wonders and unsettling evidence of previous human activity. The game's bioluminescent creatures and eerie underwater structures are brought to life with stunning visual effects that create a genuine sense of otherworldly beauty and isolation. Shogun Showdown combines roguelike progression with tactical combat inspired by slide puzzle mechanics to create one of the most addictive indie games on the Switch. Set in a stylized feudal Japan, you play as a wandering swordmaster battling through increasingly difficult encounters against the Shogun's forces. The brilliantly innovative combat system gives you a hand of attack cards that you must physically arrange on a 3x3 grid before executing them in sequence. Simple slashes might only occupy one space, while powerful area attacks or defensive moves require specific patterns. This creates intense strategic decision-making as you balance immediate threats against setting up devastating combinations for future turns. Last Time I Saw You delivers a hauntingly beautiful coming-of-age story wrapped in supernatural mystery that represents interactive storytelling at its finest. Set in a small rural town during the summer of 1987, you play as Aika, a teenage girl investigating the disappearance of her best friend and the strange occurrences plaguing the forest surrounding their community. The game masterfully blends visual novel elements with exploration and light puzzle solving as you navigate both the physical world and the complex emotions of adolescence. What makes Last Time I Saw You truly special is its branching narrative system, where seemingly small choices dramatically alter relationship dynamics and ultimately determine which of the multiple endings you'll experience. The hand-painted art style shifts between warm, nostalgic summer scenes and unsettling supernatural imagery, creating a constant sense of beauty tinged with dread. Tintin Reporter. Cigars of the Pharaoh perfectly captures the spirit of Hergé's beloved comics in an adventure game that follows the intrepid reporter's Egyptian mystery. The game brilliantly combines exploration, stealth, and puzzle solving as you investigate a drug trafficking ring connected to ancient tombs. What makes this game special is how it transitions between traditional 3D adventure gameplay and comic panel style scenes that feel ripped straight from the source material. The art direction nails Hergé's Ligne Claire style while adding depth and dimension to familiar characters. Investigation sequences require genuine detective work as you photograph evidence, interview suspects, and connect clues on your bulletin board. With faithful recreations of Tintin, Snowy, and Captain Haddock's personalities, this adventure captures the humor, mystery, and globe-trotting excitement that made the comics legendary.
Sir, may I presume that you delivered the glasses, sir?
Indeed. Now, don't you think it's time we...
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Mutants Unleashed delivers the best TMNT beat-em-up experience since Shredder's Revenge, combining classic arcade action with modern depth. Each turtle feels truly unique. Leonardo balances offense and defense. Raphael delivers devastating close-range damage. Donatello controls space with his reach, and Michelangelo chains lightning-fast combos. The combat system rewards skillful play with a deep combo system and perfect dodge mechanics that create satisfying flow between attacking and defending. What elevates this beyond standard beat-em-ups is the RPG light progression system, where you unlock new moves and passive abilities that dramatically change how each turtle plays. The cel-shaded visual style perfectly bridges classic and modern TMNT aesthetics, while the dynamic split screen keeps the action fluid in 4-player local co-op.
Already muted my phone, fellas.
Aw, dude!
Room clearer. Sorry, ladies. Delivery complete.
Sky Oceans, Wings 4 Higher resurrects the aerial dogfighting genre with a gorgeous diesel punk world where you pilot customizable seaplanes between floating island nations. As a freelance pilot, you'll take on delivery missions, engage in thrilling air battles against sky pirates, and race through stunning cloud formations and weather systems that affect your aircraft's handling. The flight model strikes the perfect balance between accessible arcade controls and nuanced physics that reward skillful flying. Between missions, you'll upgrade your seaplane with new engines, weapons, and aesthetic customizations using your hard-earned pay. The game's hand-painted art style creates a world that feels like a moving watercolor painting, with each island nation featuring distinct architecture and culture. With its perfect pick-up-and-play mission structure and sense of discovery as you unlock new areas of the vast Sky Ocean, this indie gem captures the freedom and adventure of flight. Nikoderiko. The magical world charms with its innovative blend of life simulation and puzzle platforming set in a vibrant magical community. You play as a novice witch learning spells, brewing potions, and building relationships with the quirky townsfolk. The game's core mechanic revolves around your magical camera that can capture elements from the environment and transpose them elsewhere, photographing fire to light torches or capturing water to grow plants. This creates increasingly clever environmental puzzles as you progress. Your witch's cottage serves as a customizable home base where you can decorate, craft items, and grow magical ingredients in your garden. The day-night cycle and changing seasons affect available activities and which spirits appear in the enchanted forest. With its cozy aesthetics, gentle difficulty curve, and heartwarming story about finding your place in a new community, Nikoderiko offers a magical world that's hard to leave once you've settled in. Faith, the Unholy Trinity brings its uniquely terrifying retro horror experience to Switch in a complete package that includes all 3 episodes. Set in the 1980s, you play as a priest attempting to perform exorcisms using your cross as your only defense against rotoscoped horrors that jerk and twitch across the screen in genuinely unsettling ways. The minimalist Atari-inspired graphics make the sudden appearance of detailed animated creatures all the more shocking, while the text-to-speech narration creates an uncanny valley effect that perfectly suits the demonic theme. Each of the 3 episodes builds upon the last, creating an interconnected narrative about faith, guilt, and supernatural evil that subverts expectations at every turn. Drova. Forsaken Kin delivers a mesmerizing action RPG experience inspired by Slavic folklore, set in a dying world where nature spirits clash with human settlements. The combat system focuses on timing rather than button mashing, with a stamina-based approach that makes each encounter feel consequential and tactical. What truly sets Drova apart is its faction system. Your decisions and actions gradually align you with either the human settlements or the forest spirits, changing how NPCs react to you and unlocking different abilities and quest lines. The hauntingly beautiful environments shift between dense forests with god rays piercing the canopy to abandoned villages reclaimed by nature. The minimalist storytelling relies on environmental details and brief, meaningful dialogue rather than exposition dumps. Sid Meier's Civilization VII successfully brings the legendary 4X strategy series to Switch without compromising depth or performance. This latest entry revolutionizes the formula with its new district system that makes city planning more important than ever, and dynamic events that create unique challenges throughout each era. The streamlined UI works surprisingly well on the Switch's handheld screen, making it easy to manage your empire on the go with intuitive touch controls. Turn processing is impressively quick, even in late game scenarios with multiple civilizations. The new leader persona system adds depth to diplomacy, as AI leaders remember your actions and develop personal feelings about your civilization beyond mere strategic concerns. Super Mario Party Jamboree takes the beloved party game series to new heights with its massive collection of 110 mini-games and 7 distinct game boards, each with unique mechanics and events. The standout addition is Jamboree Mode, where up to 20 players can compete online in tournament-style competitions across randomly selected mini-games. The improved movement options address complaints from previous entries, with characters now rolling 2 dice per turn and special shortcuts appearing based on specific conditions. The mini-game selection is the series' best yet, perfectly balancing skill-based challenges with luck elements to keep competitions fair and fun for players of all skill levels. Each board has multiple paths and strategies, with dynamic events that can dramatically change the landscape mid-game. Pentiment brings Obsidian's narrative masterpiece to Switch with a perfect portable port that loses none of the original's historical detail or narrative impact. Set in 16th century Bavaria, you play as Andreas Meier, an artist who becomes involved in solving a series of murders over a 25-year period in a small town, experiencing the tumultuous shifts of the Reformation. The game's stunning illuminated manuscript art style not only looks beautiful but serves the narrative by reflecting the changing artistic traditions of the period. Your choices significantly impact the story, with consequences that may not become apparent until years later in the game's timeline. What makes Pentiment special is its commitment to historical authenticity, while telling a deeply human story about community, faith, and how ordinary people navigate extraordinary historical changes. The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom delivers a revolutionary entry in the legendary series by putting Princess Zelda herself in the protagonist role for the first time in a mainline game. Armed with the mystical Echo Rod instead of traditional weapons, Zelda creates duplicates of objects and enemies that she can then control and manipulate to solve puzzles and overcome challenges. This core mechanic leads to some of the most creative dungeons in the series' history, where solutions often require thinking several steps ahead as you position your echoes strategically. The top-down perspective recalls classic Zelda while introducing modern lighting and physics systems that make Hyrule feel more alive than ever. The story explores Zelda's relationship with her royal lineage and the burden of wisdom in ways the series has never attempted before. Balatro reinvents card games with its brilliant poker meets roguelike concept that's absurdly addictive. You build decks and create poker hands to defeat increasingly difficult challenges, but the genius lies in the game's jokers and special cards that bend the rules in mind-blowing ways. One might multiply your straight flush score by your discard pile count, while another transforms pairs into full houses. The strategic depth comes from finding synergies between these effects, creating insane scoring combos that deal billions of damage. With its stylish minimalist visuals, fantastic sound design, and one more run appeal, Balatro proves simple concepts executed perfectly can outshine bigger budget titles. Whether in handheld or docked mode, this indie gem delivers countless hours of deeply strategic gameplay that's easy to learn but impossible to master. Animal Well is a Metroidvania masterpiece of intricate puzzle design and atmosphere. You control a small blob exploring a mysterious labyrinth filled with animals and ancient secrets. What sets this game apart is how it subtly teaches you its mechanics without tutorials. Each new ability feels natural, yet opens mind-bending possibilities. The pixel art creates stunning lighting effects that transform familiar areas as you acquire items like the yo-yo, frisbee, and bubble wand, tools that function in surprising ways beyond their obvious uses. The game's interconnected world hides hundreds of secrets, with many puzzles so cleverly hidden you'll feel like a genius for discovering them. With no combat focus, progression comes through environmental problem solving and exploration. Animal Well's haunting soundtrack and dreamlike visuals create an unforgettable atmosphere that proves innovation doesn't require massive scale. SteamWorld Heist II brilliantly evolves the original's side-scrolling tactical combat with expanded mechanics and a charming steampunk meets Wild West setting. Captain Leeway returns with a new crew of steam-powered robots, executing heists across a water-scarce world with precision-aimed shots that bounce off surfaces for satisfying trick shots. This sequel introduces an overworld map with your upgradable ship, deeper character progression systems, and more environmental interactions like destructible cover and water hazards. What makes it special is how each mission feels like a puzzle box with multiple solutions. Do you go in guns blazing, use stealth to avoid alarms, or set up chain reactions with explosive barrels? The hand-drawn art style pops on the Switch screen, and the toe-tapping folk meets electronic soundtrack perfectly complements the frontier atmosphere. Legend of Heroes, Trails Through Daybreak brings Falcom's masterful world-building to the Republic of Calvard with a fresh cast led by Spriggan detective Van Arkwright. The turn-based combat shines with its tactical positioning and momentum-based boost system that rewards smart play with devastating follow-up attacks. What truly sets this JRPG apart is its incredibly detailed world. Every NPC has their own story that evolves throughout the game, creating a living city that changes as the political thriller unfolds. The Hollow Core system lets you customize characters with elemental abilities and passive skills, enabling diverse party builds for different playstyles. While newcomer-friendly, longtime fans will appreciate the connections to previous Trails games and narrative threads that span the entire series. With over 60 hours of content, including substantial side quests that actually matter to the world, Trails Through Daybreak delivers an unmatched sense of place and political intrigue that few RPGs can match.
Bring it on!
Hitman Blood Money. Reprisal brings the beloved assassination sandbox to Switch with impressive optimization and all new features. This enhanced port of the classic includes modernized controls, a helpful hint system for newcomers, and the full range of creative murder possibilities that made the original famous. Each level drops Agent 47 into intricate locations, from an opera house to a suburban neighborhood, with dozens of ways to eliminate targets. You might poison a drink, arrange an accident with stage equipment, or use your trusty fiber wire for a classic silent takedown. What makes Blood Money special is its social stealth systems, changing disguises to access restricted areas while maintaining believable behavior to avoid suspicion. The Switch version runs smoothly in both handheld and docked modes, with quick loading times that make experimentation more enjoyable. For both newcomers and returning assassins, it's the perfect portable playground of creative execution.
Cine norteamericano. Tenemos una noticia importante. Las agencias de noticias están informando que el gobierno ha firmado un acuerdo de extradición con Estados Unidos a cambio del documento firmado por el gobierno. El gobierno recibirá $20 millones en tecnología.
Momodora. Moonlit Farewell closes the beloved indie Metroidvania series with its most refined and beautiful entry yet. You play as Priestess Momo, wielding a sacred maple leaf and bow to battle corrupted creatures in the cursed city of Karst. The combat system finds perfection in simplicity. 3-hit combos, well-timed dodges, and charged arrows create a dance-like flow that feels responsive and satisfying throughout. What elevates this finale is its breathtaking pixel art and animation, with haunting backgrounds and fluid character movements that squeeze impressive beauty from the Switch. The interconnected world design subtly guides players while rewarding exploration with meaningful upgrades rather than collectible bloat. The melancholic story touches on themes of sacrifice and duty, told mostly through environmental storytelling and minimal dialogue. With its challenging but fair boss encounters, tight 6 to 8 hour runtime, and emotional conclusion to the series, Moonlit Farewell proves that Metroidvanias don't need massive scale to leave a lasting impression. Dragon Quest III HD2D Remake transforms the 1988 RPG classic into a stunning modern experience while preserving its pioneering gameplay. The signature HD2D style brings pixel characters to life in beautiful 3D environments with dynamic lighting and depth effects that make every town and dungeon feel fresh yet familiar. The job system remains revolutionary, allowing characters to master classes like warrior, mage, or merchant before changing careers and carrying over abilities, creating virtually endless party compositions. What makes this remake special beyond the visual overhaul is the quality of life improvements, a faster battle speed option, detailed quest tracking, and an expanded personality system that significantly impacts character growth. Voice acting brings key story moments to life, while the reorchestrated soundtrack elevates Koichi Sugiyama's iconic compositions. For both newcomers and veterans, this remake offers a perfect entry point to understand why Dragon Quest III is considered one of the most influential JRPGs ever created. Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remaster brings Konami's beloved RPG classics to modern hardware with respectful enhancements that preserve their tactical combat and political storytelling. These games revolutionize JRPGs by featuring 108 recruitable characters, castle headquarters that evolve as your army grows, and nuanced war narratives where heroes and villains exist on both sides of conflicts. The remasters add widescreen support, redrawn character portraits, environmental effects like flowing water and flickering shadows, and crucial quality of life features including battle speed options and conversation logs. The Unite attack system remains innovative today, allowing character pairs with connections to perform devastating team attacks. What makes these games timeless is how they blend personal stories of friendship and betrayal with large-scale political conflicts, creating emotional investment in your army's success. With both games included in approximately 80+ hours of content, this collection preserves two of gaming's greatest stories about the human cost of war. Citizen Sleeper 2 Starward Vector expands on its predecessor's unique dice-based RPG mechanics with a new story set aboard an ancient generation ship. You play as a sleeper, a digitized human consciousness in a mechanical body, navigating complex relationships with the ship's factions while managing your deteriorating condition. Each day, you roll dice to assign to different actions. Higher numbers increase success chances for tasks like hacking systems, earning resources, or building trust with characters. What makes this sequel special is its enhanced narrative branching, where decisions permanently alter your journey and relationships in meaningful ways. The atmospheric electronic soundtrack and minimalist art style create a lonely yet beautiful sci-fi setting, while new systems like ship customization and expanded dialogue options offer more player expression. This melancholic adventure explores themes of found family, corporate exploitation, and what it means to be human in a world where consciousness can be copied and sold. Ender Magnolia, Bloom in the Mist masterfully blends Metroidvania exploration with Dark Souls-inspired combat to create an unforgettable journey through a dying world. You play as Lilac, navigating the mist-covered kingdom of Doran, where the poisonous Ender threatens all life. The combat system demands precision, perfectly timed parries, and dodges open opportunities for devastating counterattacks, while the unique Bloom mechanic lets you absorb enemy abilities after perfect defenses. What elevates this game is its melancholic beauty. Haunting piano melodies accompany hand-drawn environments where vibrant flora contrasts with decaying architecture. The interconnected world design reveals shortcuts and secrets that reward thorough exploration, while challenging boss fights test both reflexes and pattern recognition. Despite its difficulty, the game respects player time with frequent checkpoints and quick respawns. There you have it, the top 30 new Nintendo Switch games you absolutely need to play right now. From innovative card games to emotional RPGs, the Switch continues to receive amazing titles worth your time and money. Which of these games are you most excited to try? Let me know in the comments below, and if you've already played some of these titles, I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe to Switch Top for more Nintendo Switch content. Until next time!